Hi, YouTube. The VBL-S is back for Season 7. This is the best league and the hypest format? Question mark. The daddy plan, we'll get into that in a second. But I'm with some lovely folks who are going to discuss the drafts we just had. Go for it, James.
Hey, it's James. I'm here again, and still the coach of the Cincinnati Minchinos, and still drinking beer, but Corona this time.
Okay.
I am Daddy, the guy that did the daddy plan thing. I am drinking water this time. And yeah, happy to be back.
And I am Ballhawk, and I am drinking bourbon on ice, and I'm happy to be here.
I'm drinking water because I was just doing an overlay. I am the worst YouTuber of all time. But anyway,
False.
it was
Man,
really
I feel
fun
like
to
I
set
get
this up, talking with the guys, but we're going to actually talk about these drafts. So the format, right? So everything that was used last season that came to at least two games is not in the game. So, or it's not in the format this time around. So it's like low tier, except some of these killers are still around. For some reason, nobody drafted Politoed last time around, so it's the best mon on the board. Question mark? Maybe we'll test that hypothesis. But what is there way less of than there is in a normal format? Like fake out, there's like no fairies, no steals, very few fire types. What else?
Uh,
like no special
Consistent speed
attackers.
tiers, special attackers,
A lot of dragons. Dragons are popular this season.
prankster. There's very little prankster.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to recalibrate ourselves, understand that like all of a sudden Haunter is a good Pokemon, not just like a low tier. We're gonna try to figure out who's gonna be good in the season to come. We're gonna talk about 16 teams, the Daddy Conference. We already did the Baby Conference. The VBLS scaled up to 32 teams, pretty hype. But we should start with our first team, Jace's team, the, what do you call them? The San Francisco 40 Grimers. And so they went, the first pick in the overall draft, got the Politoed, they got hella rain stuff. And he came out with a beautiful video explaining his strategy here, saying, I don't care if I don't have great defensive synergy, if my mons are frail, because I've got power and speed, and that's all you need. He said it more elegantly than me, but I'm thinking it kind of might hold up. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't hate this team like even a little bit. And I mean, I generally don't hate Pokemon teams just because I love Pokemon and I like to talk about the teams, and it's a team that exists, so I can talk about it, and I like doing that. But I think I agree. I think there might be something to go, go, go. They can't kill you if they're dead.
Yeah, he's got good speed control. He did get a really strong swift swimmer. I know he wanted Kingdra and that got sniped, but I mean he's got Ludicolo and Barraskewda, which has a very high attack and base speed stat. I mean Barraskewda doesn't even really need the rain to go first, but that thing's going to be hitting really hard with liquidation in the rain. And obviously Weavile is a phenomenal support. Articuno Galar is a phenomenal support as well. So a lot of options on this team.
I'll start off by saying I feel like I got gypped being asked to join this. Y'all told me you were gonna be drinking and talking about this thing, but half of us are drinking water. What is up with this?
I'll be right back.
I think,
I'll
you know,
catch
I
up.
think I think he's got a, he's onto something with like, hit him fast, and if they're dead, they can't kill you. But like on the other side of that coin, like the things that he's using to hit fast are like they're extremely frail. Like Barraskewda, Weave like those things are paper thin. Articuno Galar isn't, the thickest thing either. Like, I mean, I guess 90, 85, 100 is fine, but you know,
Yeah, coming
No,
out of
I agree.
Dynamax now, we don't have Dynamax, so we can't just get one hit KOs, right? You normally do
exa-
need to be able to take the hit in return. And if
well,
Weavile can't do it, then there's only one Sash user, right?
well, I mean, like this is a little bit different from like the standard like VGC scene. Like a lot, it's pretty common to run like a choice scarf. Like, I mean, that's
Yeah.
perfectly reasonable to like outspeed this guy. And I think, fake out choice scarf or even just fake out or like fake out trick room. Like, what is his answer for trick room?
Yeah, there's not much. I mean, he could try to counter
We
trick room with his own.
Does he have in
This
prison?
Yeah, we've got Imprison Articuno is pretty good. We have some Taunters, Haunter's unfake outable. I think we've got lots of tools here. It's just whether this like can hold up when we're totally lacking in survivability and like
Right.
defensive synergy. If we ever need to actually go hit for hit here, like we didn't really try to survive electric moves here. Like I don't have a high opinion of Golurk, and I don't know if that's carrying your very important mons being electric weak or your very important mons being ghost weak. Like Weavile's not actually a ghost resist. I know from experience. So
And
I think
Rock.
Golurk. I
And
think
Rock.
Golurk is fine. Golurk is fine.
Golurk is fine, but that's his defensive switch into a couple different things. Like he doesn't like to take rock
rocks,
moves.
Yeah.
And-
it's one of those things he's probably gonna have to play aggressively around. Like he's got to know his matchup. Like he'll have matchups like that where he'll have to play like offensively and trade KOs for KOs and bring Golurk in. But
Yeah.
It's not like a secret or anything at this point, but like also Jace got pretty heavily sniped a bunch of times. Like this is an on the fly plan when he was not expecting to make one. So, wanted the Kingdra, got Ludicolo, wanted good fake out, got Pichu. Wanted good protection against electric types, got Pichu. So
So I'm thinking there could, like, sometimes he's not going to be able to play the rain game. Like, a lot of mons of Sunny Day. Sometimes he's going to get Scarf Rock Slid, and that's going to be really painful. So I think there could be some changes that could make this team more well-rounded. But, like, the strengths are really there. It's just unclear if he's going to get to play his game all the time.
Yeah,
I think
it
this is gonna
feels-
end up
it feels
somewhere
like
in the
an-
middle. But
It feels like an all-in kind of team for me. Like
Yeah.
there's going to be matchups where he just annihilates his opponent, where he just 8-0s them and it's over with. But then if anybody tries to play the long game, or if they are able to get trick room set up against this team, then I feel like that's where it's going to be a little bit weaker because his team is not taking a lot of hits, right?
yeah. So
Very
we're going to
glass
calibrate
cannon.
based on some other teams, but I think this is going to end up around the middle.
yep, I'm
I would agree.
agreeing.
Yeah, you
I've
guys
also
can make
got
your
it
own
Be
tier
in-
list if you choose. We have a team that is decidedly not middle. This is by Daddy. I gotta start saying this is the best draft I've ever seen you draft. Holy, this is like mature, versatile, like strong, solid picks. Like obviously the Dragon Fairy Steel Core really strong and like the synergy of like flying and electric. But like I really wanted Dust Noir, I really wanted Tauros. I think those are really good pieces for this kind of format. Like a fast Intimidate's really hard to come by. Or like a fast
very
mon
good
that hits
passive
hard too.
support.
Yeah, look, we have
Yeah.
like, lots of power here.
I felt really good about the late additions to the team too, like those middle additions. I feel like Morgrim really and Sigilyph really provide a lot of really strong support that the 5 big hitters in the front of the lineup kind of need. And then Golisopod for 6 points is just wild. I don't know.
Like Rhydon is a whole problem with the EVL8, and your team isn't particularly weak to water or grass, so it's gonna actually like get to be Rhydon and be like one of the best Pokemon from Gen 1 back again.
Thank God you can't get away with weakness policy Dynamax right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also like this team. And a lot of the times, I know I like a team when it's got a lot of mons I was considering drafting myself,
Yes.
right? And Poliwrath was on the plan at one point.
I wanted
Sigilyph
that
and
too.
Golisopod were in there. Tauros, Dragonite, and Dusk Noir all got serious consideration. Magnezone was my second pick at one point, like early on, and so yeah, when I see a lot of stuff and I'm like, that's banger, awesome mon, well done, good stuff. Morgrim's a cool little dude, like it's that to me is often the mark of a good team in my eyes, when it's like, oh yeah, I love all these mons and I almost picked most of them. So
Yeah,
I think this
except for the
team
weak
gets
spurt.
something right that a lot of teams struggled with. Like, given the format, a lot of mons are just like little runts, like NFEs, and there's like clicking snarl or screens or whatever. This team doesn't have an excess of supports like some other teams have. It's got like Morgrim can do a lot with Prankster, Dust Noir can do Will-O-Wisp and everything else, but like a lot of teams that have too many supports, you always know where the offense is coming, unless they like want to be wacky one week. It's usually 2 or 3 main threats. I think a lot of this team is threatening. Like 9 plus of this team are threatening attackers. Yeah, big numbers.
I would take it even farther. Oh, sorry, finish up.
No. That was the point.
I was gonna say I'll take it a bit farther. Like you said, like, they're all a lot of, like, really heavy hitters. They're not like dedicated supports, but like pretty much everything there has passive support. So like they could all be heavy hitters one week, and then the next week they could be dedicated support, or they could just be a mix. Like you've got 5 things on there with helping hand. You know, Poliwrath having Encore. You got 3 Hazers. You got Wide Guard and Golisopod.
Yeah.
4 things that can run both Reflect and Light Screen.
7
Morgrim
Ice Wind users.
Yeah, Morgrim is going to be really good here. Like being able to just priority screens in this format where there is no Dynamax.
Yes.
Especially for things like Dragonite, Multiscale Weakness Policy, or things that are just fat, like Sylveon and Magnezone. Dusk Noir with a Weakness Policy. Yeah. Like this team is...
Yeah. It's got the numbers, it's got the variety, it's got... I'm ready to jump it into S tier. I mean, we can look at some other teams, figure it out.
Of the 11 mons, there are 9 attacking stats over 100.
How much did Ponyta cost? That's the only thing. Okay.
That's
That's fair.
So, you know, Ponyta was just kind of there for, you know, ally switch, and it's a Bagmon, so is it going to come a lot? Probably not, but it's there. The name of the game for this draft was just bulky attackers that can also do other stuff, kind of like you said earlier, Ballhawk. So that's kind of what I was going for. Really strong core, right?
Team to beat, and not just because we've only done 2 teams. Ben's teams always bewilder me, and this one is no exception, but it looks like a pretty good team. I'm going to try to let someone take the lead on this. If they understand
I love Ben as a team builder. Kind of in the same vein as Tay. Like their drafts are always look kind of wacky at first, but then when you dig into it a little bit more, there's all these hidden synergies, and like I like how Ben just kind of took those like upper middle tiers to kind of fill out his team. You know what I mean? He doesn't have anything that costs more than what, 12, 13, 12, right?
12 points.
Very wide team,
so he's gonna have a lot of options every week, and his base stat totals are high. Like I thought my base stat totals were really high, and his are even higher. So I was kind of impressed with this draft.
The ones that even dip down for, like Seeking, Stunfisk,
Bouffalant,
Bouffalant, like those things they're not NFEs. Like they can all like come in and do some damage in their own right too. Like you got good value there.
I guess I'm just confused. Like, how are we going fast? Who's abusing Runerigus' Trick Room? I guess sometimes Crawdon. The Boof. The Boof is good, right? Because we started with a very interesting set of first 2 picks, not what I would go for, but like they do have synergy, they cover each other's weaknesses, Trick Room Setter, Trick Room Sweeper type thing, but like, and then these 2 are both weak to grass, so then Bouffalant can sip them up. So that much I understood, but like I don't understand like who's supporting Charizard here. I don't understand Duraludon as a mon. I really struggle to justify it with its really poor special defense. I don't really understand the synergies. It doesn't mean he's not going to find him. Like we know Ben's a good player, but like if we keep Ben out of it, how does this team work together?
He does have some problems with speed control, and also the lack of wide guard kind of hurts because he's got a significant amount of ground weaknesses, and then he has Charizard who does not want to eat a rock slide. I feel like wide guard would help out a lot on this team too.
Yeah, no fake out is kind of rough as well. Like you know
Alakazam and Crawdon really want that 1 turn of relief that Fake Out provides.
You got Inner Focus on Alakazam.
Oh, okay, that's good. Good point.
I was gonna say, like, I think Crawdon and Bouffalant could both easily abuse Trick Room. Even Runerigus in its own right could be really annoying, especially with his ability if you're going up against something that really relies on his ability. Like my team, for instance, when I got 2 Snowball Mons and Glastrier and Hillego, like that would really mess those up. But those 2 with like a Life Orb or Room Service, even like his team it's wonky. Like it could go. It's like Tail Room without the Tailwind.
It's like I don't see any speed control that I really like except the Runerigus, and I don't think enough is benefiting from the Runerigus, and like Alakazam T-Wave, and it's not a good T-Wave. It's like fast, but it's not around long enough.
Alakazam also gets Speed Swap, right? And then Electroweb on Electivire, maybe. But yeah, it's not much.
Yeah, Speed Swap is going to be a good option for this team, I think. Crawdon's going to like a Speed Swap.
Base 120 speed Crawdon does seem like a bigger deal.
Oh,
Base
yeah, it
120
actually
speed,
has
Red Cross
knockoff.
with Moxie.
Yeah, knockoff's going to be big in this format with Eviolite and whatnot being prominent. So I don't get it. I will never get it. Ben's going to probably make playoffs anyway, but I can't put this above the middle, and I think I want Jace above this one. What do you think?
I'm with
think
it.
I like
I
this
agree with
team.
you.
I like this
there's a
team
lot
more
of
than
holes. Sorry.
Chase's.
Yeah, I think I largely agree, but also I'm going to put it above Jace's team in B tier.
Oh, I'll go
This team is
consensus.
more diverse, I think.
Okay. Moving on.
Or flexible, that's the word I was looking for.
The Vancouver Victinis. Welcome to the league, Darts. And he was at Worlds? Something? I
yeah.
heard that.
Oh, that's cool.
I think played in the Open or might have qualified in seniors division. I'm not sure.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, Braff met him in Milwaukee or something, I think.
Yeah. So we don't know if he's good at draft, but we know he's good at Mons, and that's usually a good start. What do we think of this team? I see a fair amount of red, but I'm going to try to get beyond just looking at the type chart here.
Yeah, it's got a lot of Mons I like. So they're like, Drampa, Togepi, Togedemaru, Melodic, Executor, Scyther. There's a bit much in the NFE Eviolite fighting position.
Togepi mostly is going to get
Togepi, Trapinch, Lanoon Galar, and Scyther all
Scyther likes it too.
all love to have it, right? Like I've pointed out in the past that Scyther is a great example of why Eviolite is good.
Yep.
And so, there's a lot of uncomfortable like item fighting that's probably going to happen. But
those are also not
some of those those are, with the exception of like Togepi, like that's not like a mainstay of the team.
Right.
Well, actually, I think Togepi, like the most compelling thing that jumps out to me is Togepi plus really strong turn 1 options in Cinderace and Nihilego. Like Togepi's one of 3 redirectors in the format, probably the best one. And like Cinderace can take random Okos, and same with Nihilego. And if they can get a Trick Room with Togepi, like Drampa's also a big threat. And if they can just keep Milotic around using Togepi, then it can Coil Hypnosis and ruin your day. So I think there's like a lot of good explosiveness here. And like a Cursal has got a huge stat. So I think let's assume that like Togedemaru and Togepi are just like dedicated helpers and 4 really powerful threats. I think that makes a lot of sense to me.
I think Cursal could go ahead, Ballhawk.
I was gonna say I would look at this like I don't think Togepi on this team ever runs Eviolite. I think it's Focus Sash. And then that frees up things for like, Trapinch could probably take advantage of it, although maybe not. Like Trapinch just seems kind of like a mean mom at this point. Like on this team, like I don't know how often it comes. Like
I think Trapinch also likes the sash, right? It's still pretty frail.
Exactly. Like Arena Trap is fun, but like you're sacrificing a lot by bringing Trapinch over something else on this team. The other 2 NFEs, Linoon Galar and Scyther, I think both bring a lot to the table. Like Linoon Galar is one of those mods that I was looking at for the end of the draft that like
never looked at
it's got a lot of tools. Like it's got Taunt, Parting Shot, Helping Hand, Knockoff, Snarl. Like it's got a lot of those really good support moves that they sneak up on you, like things that you liked about like Grim Snarl, even Obstagoon when you're playing singles. Like it just it's got a lot of good support
and it's
and
coming
a lot
off
of good
100.
Coverage.
It's coming off 100 speed too, which is pretty decent in the format.
Yeah, I respect Obstagoon, so probably by extension I can respect the supportive side of Lanoon.
Like how many things get Parting Shot in this format? And Scyther, like I would like Scyther a lot more if it got access to Tailwind. Like again, I don't know how many teams like pass up Tailwind, but this team is one of those things that definitely would benefit from a Tailwind thing. But
this team has some pretty neat like sweepers under Trick Room, right? Drampa and Cursula, and even Executor is pretty decent. But this team is pretty damn frail, right? Especially on the physical side, and there's no Intimidate on this team unless I'm missing something.
I think this team doesn't try to play speed control. It just tries to protect a key attacker and hit you. Like Fake Out and Redirection I don't see a lot of speed control here. I just see protection through the Togies.
Doggies.
Doggies.
I think it
Sure.
works. So I'm not sure if this
Mhm.
team has as much variety because it feels like we've settled on like a clear game plan. And yeah, it could like the offense could come from different places, but it's always like target down the support or spread move through them. Like Earthquake and Rock Slide could probably be good with no wide guard.
Mhm.
Maybe, but it seems
All right.
like a
So
promising
now let's
team.
talk about. So now let's talk about 5 4x weaknesses.
Yeah, it's a little dark,
It's
but
a little rough, and it's mostly on types that are good in this format, right? The rock types are good in this format. The ground types are good in this format, and there's 2 4x weaknesses. The fight there's a lot of good, playable to good fighting types, and
But at the
he's
also
got
some
sturdy.
people drafting bug
Togi
types.
doesn't really count. He's got sturdy.
Right, and these 4x weaknesses, a lot of them are dying in one shot anyway, right?
I would agree with you guys but to some extent, like he's got a Milotic, like
Yeah.
that counters like all of those things, like rock,
Right.
ground, ice. Like what are they doing to Milotic? Plus, Milotic has the ability to coil up, and it's got some decent physical coverage. Like, I think he's all right.
Yeah, I think Melodic is a really key contributor here, and just going to be generally hard to beat in this format. So I think we get it. I think this is really good. The team's going to be fast paced. It's going to, I think, win a lot of games. But I think maybe we put it up here.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I don't think it's one of the best, but I do think that it's better than average.
I agree.
And yeah, our standards are pretty high in the VBL-S Season 7 at this point, so a very good team, a very good first outing for Darts. Looking forward to seeing the matches. On to Bohm. I thought Bohm was going to join us. What the hell?
It might be.
Looks like he's feeling sick.
Oh.
Well,
Too many
that's a
screens.
bummer.
Okay.
A Bomer.
a Bomer.
Boom.
Another Ohio boy.
Hey, there's the Kingdra.
Oh, I love this
Yeah.
draft.
Here, yeah, this is
I love this.
Look, it's all the mons Jace wanted to draft.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Sneasel, Kingdra.
Don't like ignore the red on
like-
the bottom. Like he's gonna hit him so fast, they're gonna be dead before they know it hit him.
I see speed. Holy. I see 6 mons at 105 speed or higher. They're kind of clumped all together, and so we're going to try to scarf through all 6 of them. But, like, I see a lot of mons that can be fast, and so 1 or 2 of them doesn't have to be. That's really compelling. So how do we stop Trick Room? Like, how does this team prevent Trick Room from beating them?
Does he have Imprison on Swoobat? Or Swoobat doesn't even. Yeah, it does get Trick Room.
We have Taunters.
I believe Swoobat imprisons. doesn't it?
Swoobat or Azelf probably have Imprison, I would guess.
We have an unfake-outable
Oh,
mon with
Azilf
Taunt.
definitely does. Swoobat also does.
Okay, so there's your Trick Room answer. Aside from
Rapidash
Fake Push.
Galar also gets Trick Room and Imprison.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, Rapidash Galar is also.
Apparently does not get Trick Room. Is
Oh,
this
It definitely
wrong?
does.
Don't
That
worry
is,
about
does.
that.
yeah,
That's
that's
some-
a doc problem.
Whoever made this is, an idiot.
Yeah,
Forgot
what
that.
an idiot.
Okay, so I
Gosh.
see at least 2, I think 3 Trick Room imprisons. That's good.
Yeah, all 3 Trick Roomers can also imprison,
Okay.
which is pretty sweet.
Can
Man,
the team
Zoroark
take a
is
hit
gonna-
when it's
Zoroark
not
is gonna
Virizion?
be.
If
you're
it's
Shedinja.
if it's well positioned.
Look at that Ghost weakness, though, and Rock weakness. Like, what's Shedinja doing on this team?
Yeah, Shedinja is not quite. It's not going to catch people by surprise, I think, on this team.
No, probably not.
Unless
This
it's
is another
Zoroarking.
team- Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
actually.
Yeah, Zoro Ninja, new meta.
Oh my god.
That's a real ninja.
It just seems hard to make this kind of stuff work when like there isn't enough like solid. Like there is definitely offensive threats, fast, powerful, etc. But like we're not going to stick around long enough to do shenanigans, are we?
That doesn't
Yeah, I
seem
mean-
like a very long, like a team that really wants to sustain longevity.
Yeah, it's kind of like Jace's team, right? It wants to like win or lose in 2 turns, right?
A little bit. And then like winging a prayer, like hopefully they didn't bring shit into coverage.
Yeah,
They're definitely
now I
gonna.
do-
They're gonna.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
like look at that fire, rock, ghost weakness. Yeah, they're bringing shit into
Yeah,
coverage.
I do
It's not a Shedinja
like
team.
the bottom half of this team. Quite like Swoobat, Rapidash, Shedinja is fine, but Clang and Coalossal, I like all 4 of those, particularly in the context of the format. Not a lot of great ways to proc a Coalossal Steam Engine. I guess Sneasel Surf.
It's probably going to do a big chunk
But
without
It's
Dynamax.
gonna be Sneasel Surf. That seems like a
Yeah.
good one.
Mhm.
Oxygen.
Also, it's a switch into those fire moves that he's weak to,
But-
and that'll proc it too.
Yeah.
That's good,
Or is, can be flash fire and just be like bulky colossal, right?
Right. Could be your Trickromancer.
Yeah, so like our
110,
Trick Room
120, 90
users are Azelf and
is-
Swoobat, super fast Frailmon, so like I don't think this team intentionally is setting Trick Room just for the Colossal, and then the Trick Room setter just is there to die. So I think
Probably
this is a fast team. I think Sneasel's a really good start to a fast team. I think Braviary with Tailwind and Defiant can be pretty good. Azelf's a lot of versatility and power. I think there are good pieces. I don't see as much synergy as the teams I've seen so far. And I think there's some longevity issues. But
I think Rapidash Galar could be sneaky good on this team.
oh, it's going to be good. The
Rapidash
great pick,
Galar
by the
is
way.
just sneaky good in this format.
Yeah, just like we've talked it up enough that it's not sneaky anymore either.
Yeah,
I think
excuse me.
Bowman it seems like he went for like a lot of like pairings on his team, that kind of work together.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll kind of see what kind of builds he can put together every week. This team looks like kind of weird to me. I don't know.
I'm gonna be cautious and put it in the middle. Do we have any?
I'm almost thinking like low good, high okay.
Yeah. Do I like Jace's team or?
Yikes!
I think I like
I
Jace.
think we're probably gonna end up with 0 Yikes teams. We'll see, which would be good.
I'll put people in Yikes. I don't care.
Well, I'm using S, A, B, C, and
All
D, so there might be a D tier for me. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We still got a lot more teams to look
If I
at.
can fit a few teams under this, then it'll be promoted to good. It's a pretty good team. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite on par with like Jason.
Yeah.
And even Ben's team, but yeah, who knows? It's
Calibrate
weird.
as
So
we go on to
Who's next?
the Wolfpack Welders, coached by
Another new team.
Zero's.
Zero's gal.
Zero's gal. We don't know the abbreviation, so we're gonna have to use
It's
full name.
WOW.
Or rather, like what we should call them, just Zero's gal. Anyway, Meowst. Oh yeah, this was a really, really promising team. So there's virtually no terrain, and she grabbed Wheezing Galar and an Excelgor and a Driftblim. So we have the double Unburden. This is actually, when I was looking into Excelgor in the Draftable series, I said you should get like a really solid Unburden Mon and then like a niche Unburden Mon. I'm not sure, is Wheezing Galar good or great in the format? It might be great.
I think it might just be great. Yeah.
You think?
I mean, there's not a lot of fairies.
There's
not
no
a
good
lot
fairies.
Yeah.
It's the only good terrain. Neutralizing gas is like when you're hunting for good Pokemon in the low tiers, you're often looking at abilities, and neutralizing gas is going to make 2 7-point Mons into 1-point Mons in a given match, and then she's laughing, right?
I think Wheezing Galar is great, but not because of the Misty terrain. I think it's because they paired it with Gigaliths.
Is a girder, by the way. That was a week 0,
which is an improvement. I think that was a good move. Girder, huge value for just the 3 points.
Does the Flame Orb burn you under Misty terrain?
It does not.
It doesn't.
Okay.
But yeah, Weezing really good, and I glossed over Meowstic is an amazing Pokemon, both in general and especially this time around, because Fake Out was even harder to come by, Prankster even harder to come by. Good speed and great move pools, and like the bulkiest Prankster. It's a really, really great Pokemon, and so like how do we abuse the disruption and Fake Out that it provides? We got like a big hitter in Hydreigon.
Wheezing Gigas.
Oh yes, of course, the Wheezing Gigas. Remains to be seen how good it will be, but probably pretty good.
Lead like Meowstic Gigas turn 1, fake something out that wants to set up or whatever, and then bring the Wheezing in turn 2 and kill it, something like that. Or Registeel is going to be impossible for anyone to kill, and you can't burn it if Misty terrain is up.
Oh yeah, such a problem, the Registeel.
Yeah, can't intimidate it, can't burn it. Maybe she'll run Light Metal 1 week by accident.
They have Bulldoze. They've got to have Bulldoze on this team. Weakness policy Registeel is going to be great.
if you give, I really do believe in Walrein. If you can get it going for a couple of turns, it's got every boosting move from Belly Drum to Bulk
Yeah,
Up.
it needs something, either a good boosting move or a lot of good speed support. But in those cases, you know, then the worst case scenario is 30% of the time you're killing with sheer cold. Right?
Well, yes.
And even that's not terrible.
Yeah. So what we could do is we could just put down our Hydreigon and start hitting, and then Walreign's just kind of like bulking up on you and leftovers and toxicking or sheer colding you. It's definitely a latent threat.
Yeah, Walrein is going to be underrated. It's gonna sneak up on people.
Which
Yeah,
one?
this team has a lot of different options and it can surprise you every week. I like this team a lot. I think the last 2 months on the team are pretty much inconsequential. You can kind of factor
3
those out.
points.
But
We're kind of, let's ignore them. No,
What is
Drizzile
it,
Drizzile has like half decent stats in this economy, like 95, 90.
Yeah,
Attack and speed
90
is good.
speed, 90 speed soak, but no way to take advantage of it.
But if we
What is
ignored it,
Excel
if
board
we
doing
ignored
here?
it, which we can, right? We're really not bringing them. Our average numbers are really great, and even with they're pretty good.
Regigigas distorts everything, though,
Yeah,
right?
Regigigas does make the averages look
Okay,
silly.
yeah, let's.
But yeah.
Regigigas
But
this
still,
and
if
unnoy
there's
about this. Okay,
a lot of
mons.
mons that can, a lot of mons with setup moves. We have a really good fake out / prankster user. Yeah, I like this team quite a bit.
I wonder. I would love if there were just 1 or 2 more big hitters, like because we can't really go Meowstic Regigigas. We're mainly going Meowstic Hydreigon, Meowstic like Drifblim combined, or like Weezing doing interference for Registeel or Walrein. I wish there was 1 or 2 more dimensions, but everything here I think is really good, and I think this is a really good team.
Yeah, it might be a little too heavy on support for my taste. A little bit.
Oh, how dare you? Support Pokemon are the best Pokemon.
Yeah, like I'm really going after this Hydreigon and Registeel every game.
I would draft 9 support Pokemon and two off a physical attacker and a special attacker, and I wouldn't never have been happier, and would probably go 1 and 6. But
I like this team at the top of A or a low S. Personally.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is
also
a
like
little
team
bit
quite a
better
bit.
than the with the Cinderace, Nihilego, and Toge's team.
Yes.
All right,
agreed.
so yeah, we're gonna put it there. Great first outing. Excited to see the games. Onwards to our second to last team of. Oh man, we're not moving that fast.
We are actually.
Are we?
We're
Yeah,
moving at a good pace. Yeah.
Really about half an hour in or so.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll do our best. Okay, we have AC. AC has given me generally fantastic drafts, which means I'm a little bit more confused about this one than usual. I think it's a little extreme, but extremes are good. This is Pokemon after all. This is not a safe game.
Glass Cannon.
Yeah. Like, Butterfree can protect these mons for exactly 1 turn, maybe. But, like, that's enough if you're Blacephalon or Naganadel.
Not
White
really,
Guard.
because they're both weak to Earthquake. Like,
Right.
who
Okay,
cares about hitting
okay,
a Butterfree
okay.
and just EQ?
We did do some protection. We've got 3 ground immunes. Now, like, they're still going to get hit, but, like, we can swap in our Rotom. Rotom's a pretty solid piece.
Oh, yeah.
This team doesn't really like rock slides either, though.
Oh, it definitely doesn't like rock slides. Good point. At least we've got 3 resists. You know, a rock resist in this economy is hard to come by. They got their steel, their ground, and well, they're fighting. Mianfu's actually got reasonable stats. I was considering this guy, like 85 attack and 65 speed is like normal Pokemon levels, not even baby levels.
And can use Eviolite.
Yes, which makes it good.
Although there's
I just need to point out
several on the team, you know.
Ponyta has better stats than Mienfoo. Just want to point that out.
Does it?
Yeah, well, Pony's
Yeah,
just banned in
that
Little
does.
Cup because strictly because of its busted stats.
I think Jigglypuff is going to come to a few games this season. Honestly, I think
I think
fits on
Jigglypuff
this
is
team.
just better Wigglytuff in draft.
Is it bulkier after Eviolite?
Well,
who cares? It's 2
I
points.
don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think
Friendguard
it is.
ally switch. You don't
And
think
it
so?
gets
Helping
yeah,
hand?
and it
Oh,
gets
Friendguard is good. Yeah, Friendguard might give a second life to Naganadel and Blacephalon some ways.
Yeah, but you lose out on the friskiness of Wigglytuff, though.
I will pass on everything about Wigglytuff. Every
Except
time.
for
I
when
think
you don't
It's
get
bad.
to frisk the choice scarf and you die.
Or here's the problem: we're not outspeeding this team. Like, even if we somehow have a way past Naganadel and Blastoises, we definitely don't after Priority Tailwind. Like, this team is always getting its shots in, and you might not survive them. So I'm thinking might be doing Jace's strategy a little bit better. Now, the fake out is not as good. Like, Jace had Ludicolo and Weavile, huge fake out options, and these fake out options like are a little sus, but like they're definitely bringable, I think.
Yeah,
I would
think
agree.
Mime Galar, totally reasonable. I mean, we talked about Meanfu a little bit. Also totally reasonable.
Yeah, this guy's got a
even
huge
the Doug
move pool.
trio here. Like we talked about Trapinch and the Arena Trap kind of being like a meme for that team, but like here is actually like it does something. Like Doug trio hits hard and it's fast.
Doug Trio, Blacephalon, Focus Sash, Doug Trio, and like Specs Mind Blown.
Yep. Like this team.
Can... Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you're right. You hit it like right on the head. Like this team takes Jace's strategy and just does it better.
Cranks it up to 11.
Yeah, if he can trap something in with Doug Trio that Blacephalon or Naganadel has a good matchup into and get those beast boosts rolling, that'd be really strong too. But he doesn't have Imprison. He has one Trick Room setter. So I feel like, I don't know, some of the slower, bulkier teams might give him a little more trouble. But overall, like the speed and the heavy hitters on this team are really nice. And Jigglypuff's amazing.
Yeah, gonna be hard to beat. Yeah, like you're not going to stop this team from hitting you, and if it just throws out 2 strong attackers, you might not get to hit them back. So I'm thinking this is a very good team. Is it a top team?
I don't think
so.
Put
it above Jace's team for sure.
That's exactly where I just put it. I put it above Jace.
All right, we're gonna put it here.
I think personally, I like it more than the Victinis.
Yeah, so I think that was kind of more going for hyper offense with support, and I think this team isn't supporting you with fake out and redirection. Well, actually, it does have the redirection, but it's supporting with this huge Talonflame option and maybe some Butterfree Sleep Powders. I think we got plenty of support. I think I love it here. This is a very very good team.
Yeah, I would keep it there.
I'm putting it there as well.
Cool. Onwards, the last team of the Moltres division. I got too many windows. Goose did this better when he was screen sharing, and he had just one screen that was not moving.
Oh, you guys are both great.
This is my brain in action. It's just like shifting around all the time.
If I'm being honest, I'm just glad I don't have to look for timestamps and post it later. So thanks a lot.
I'm literally lost right now. I'm lost in tab.
You're getting old.
All right. This was Heracross and the Illinois Infernape.
Our fill-in last second.
Yeah. They're like, oh, I can play? Cool. Hit my top Porygon too. And we were like, oh, this team came to play. But then it got slower and slower and slower, and it became the hardest of the Trick Room teams I've seen in a few seasons.
You know what? I love this team because it just says, here's what I'm doing. Try and stop me. Like, how do you stop Trick Room from going up on this team?
There's 12 weaknesses on this team, so how do you stop it?
Who cares if you can't hit them first? Like last year, like you get Trick Room set up. Like
that's true. They're getting Trick Room set up, right?
Even Mawile can be
a little odd. These are our 3 Trick Room setters right here, sharing 3 weaknesses, all 3. I know what I'm bringing. That's not great. If you could find like a normal type Trick Room setter, like a Klinklang or an Aromatisse or something, that would definitely be. Oh wait, but we've got also Porygon 2.
Yep.
Never mind. Yeah. Rescinded. Okay, so Porygon 2 can give Trick Room whenever he wants. The Reuniclus is more of like the abuser of Trick Room. The Light Orb, Magic Guard, Shadow Ball, Focus Blast, whatever it wants.
So here's my thing about P2 in this format, okay? It's not a Dynamax format, so it's not really too much of an offensive threat. Yeah, can it do something? Sure. Yeah, it can. But it's not going to roll through people's teams, right? So this thing is generally going to be running Eviolite. It's generally going to be setting Trick Room. I feel a lot safer taunting it now than I would in like a max format where it might just max on me and max strike, right?
But that's a turn that you have to use taunting the Porygon. And I don't... What do you mean by like because it's not a Dynamax format that is less offensive?
Well, it's not going to do as much damage when it doesn't have base 140 attacks or whatever. I guess is what I'm saying.
I kind of mean like it's you have to guess less often, more than any like actually taunting it is a safer decision to make because it's less likely to be taunt proof and throwing out a super scary max strike and debuffing your speed, or
Yeah.
Thunderbolt and
Like, can they read
Or-
me and and
max
use
lightning.
an
I mean,
attack and get a free attack off? Yes, they definitely can. But it's just, I don't know. I feel much safer using taunt, or knockoff will be huge too, right?
Mm-hmm. That's fair. I mean, like fake out Hitmontop, run next to Porygon 2, or
And the team wants to trick room so bad, right? Because
Right.
if they're not trick rooming, then okay, you get a free attack off, but then I go first every other turn.
right. The other thing too is like, you got Slowbro there, like Oblivious. The Oblivious blocks taunt, right? Or am I?
Yes, it does.
Or is that?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so and Slowbro is like fat. Like, I mean,
Yeah, this
Yeah,
team really doesn't need Trick Room turn 1. It's bulky enough. Like, last year is super bulky. Slowbro is super
Mhm.
bulky. P2 is extremely bulky. So, like, it's going to be able to take its time. Now, does it have, like, the ability to scale up? Does it have, like, Sword Stance? I guess Glastrier is Sword Stance.
Loranta's Contrary.
We have double
Contrary.
Intimidate.
Wild Sword
Yeah.
Stance.
So I did just look and see what Lurantis' special move pool was like, thinking
Oh,
maybe
it's just Leaf Storm.
yeah, it's strictly grass moves.
Yeah.
'Cause, well, what I was thinking was Eerie Impulsing your own Lurantis, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
I was like, that sounds like something I would love to do,
It doesn't even get a normal attack.
but it gets Weather Ball and Hyper Beam.
Okay, I mean that's something. I mean,
The
you got
goal is that,
Hippopotas.
like, 4x Leaf Storms are still 2x if a resisted move, you know?
Yeah.
It's just, it needs to win with Leaf Storm.
No, not necessarily. You got Hippopotato.
Yeah,
You know,
Weather Ball is kind of nice.
Weather Ball
That's
Rock
fine.
with the
That would be interesting.
Rock is very good in this format offensively, right?
exactly.
I mean, the physical move pool is better. Is there a
Mhm.
there's no is there a charm on the team? I don't.
we have
Well,
charm on
Mawile
here.
might get charm.
Yeah, so I'm so against hard Trick Room as a draft concept, but this
Does
team
not.
commits so hard to it that you got to respect it. You got to
That
admire
may-
it.
Yeah, but
gotta-
I
And it
think
seems
I'll-
like a good
have a plan
implementation
for it.
of it, right?
Yeah, it's a really good Trick Room team, and
Yeah.
we'll see how good a really good Trick Room team can do when they just have to, have a different plan to make sure they can
Yeah.
live the non-Trick Room turns.
I respect it, but I
Every
also respected my mono bug draft, so I'm gonna put this one in C tier.
I think it's better than that. I think it's in the
We got
middle
the-
somewhere. I think there's double Intimidate and there's scaling options, and there's huge heft and the ability to go first when they get Trick Room up, which I don't think they strictly need. They're always going second without it, but like they're not dying, not quickly.
They're bulky on the physical side for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so here's Jace has kind of been my barometer because they're like the first team we did.
Mhm.
How do we like this against Jace's team?
I mean, Jace makes
Yeah.
more sense. I like going fast more than I like going fast with occasional, or like going fast only once I've set up my move that you see coming. But this
I
team is
kinda like-
really thick, isn't it? Maybe
Exactly.
maybe I'm exaggerating how thick
No.
it is.
The
No,
bulky
that was
team-
that's
It's
exactly
not
what I was
that
gonna say.
thick. It's
It-
really
Yeah,
not
maybe
that
it's maybe
thick.
it's not. I mean,
think-
with Intimidate, it certainly gets there.
It's not
But-
thin, but it's not.
You know, you got your Hitmontop Intimidate next to like Glastrier or Slowbro. Right.
All right,
Nicholas.
if y'all want
There are a
to,
lot of 40s and 50s on the special side.
Yeah. if y'all want to C tier this, you can. I think I'm going to be a little bit more hopeful and say that this team is going to win with or without Trick Room a fair amount of the time.
That's fair.
And it
I
will
agree.
win with like a turn 4 Trick Room, like after you kill the Taunter or something. I think
I
this
think it's a
team's
good
got
team.
some options. Onwards to the Aegislash division, the best division, I say unbiasedly.
Speaking of all killers,
The St. Louis
Let's-
Charizard. I'm
yeah,
not going to
let's-
talk about
let's
this team
start
because
off
I'm
with
going
some-
to play them in a few days. I don't want
oh, is this your week one?
This is my week 1. Oh wait,
All right,
let me actually put these in the nicely formatted one. Cool. Have at it, guys.
So
I see some nice supports. I see a couple of 3 mons that are gonna like Eviolite. I don't think Pharaoh Seed's gonna really come that often. I don't like Espeon at all. But those first two picks, Zapdos and Mamoswine, obviously have amazing synergy. I think that those two are really strong by themselves. I think Fungus is really good redirection and Spore, and in Trick Room that can put everything to sleep. Wartortle is a really undervalued support Pokemon in my opinion. So there's a lot of decent things on this team, and then a few things that I don't really like quite as much. Partially, all the mons that want to use Eviolite.
Yeah, so here's what I love about this team. Lots of premium fake out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Torracat, great. Wartortle, super undervalued. Purloin doesn't always have to run fake out because you have two other good fake out users, which is nice in your prankster support mon, right? And so I also like the supports, right? I'm less concerned with the Eviolite overlap on this particular team because a lot of them can run something else, right?
Yeah.
Wartortle is decently survivable even without an Eviolite. Purloin can run a Sash and love it. Torracat can run like an Assault Vest maybe, right? Run like Fake Out, Snarl, Overheat, fourth move, something like that.
Yeah.
And Zapdos, Mamoswine, like who doesn't love a good Disquake? Espeon's terrible. Ferroseed comes
No,
week,
it's
maybe.
not. Look at the stat. Look at the. These are the
terrible,
only
but
two
it
stats
is.
that matters. When they're good together, that's all you need. And now it is hitting with psychic moves, so like maybe it's missing. But
Like, where's the offense on this team? Right? There's the two up top, and then Espeon. Really?
That's what I was gonna say. That's when I look at this team, like that's all I see is I see Zapdos, Mamoswine, Torracat, Espeon, and then everything else is there to support. I mean, Passimian isn't going to be a support, but like, it's okay. Passimian can do some damage at 120, but there's just I think there's an overabundance of support on this team, and it's going to be really easy to kind of guesstimate what they're bringing each week to their matchup. Like Zapdos, Mamoswine, Torracat, and Espeon are coming each week pretty much.
Yeah, James,
and
this is your eight support mon team right here.
This kind of is the 8 support mon team, and so like I said, I would love to draft it and then go 1 and 6. Right. So like, it's got again a lot of Pokemon I like, a lot of Pokemon I consider drafting. It's 8 support mons plus Mamo Zapdos.
Yeah, we have excellent support and we have limited attackers.
Yeah,
I think the strength, the success of the team hinges on it making some of these mons that we're not respecting into threats. Like, show us the power of Espeon. Show us that Passimian is actually really good. Iron Defense, Body Press, Skarmory, and just win a whole week off that. Like, Swords Dance typed Null. You can do it. I think this team seems harder to pilot than some of the others we've seen, but it definitely can be great. Like, I do believe that it can be great. I think it's going to be harder to be great than maybe even some of the middle teams, but
yeah, I think this is going to be a D tier for me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That started off really well with the first 4 or 5 picks, and then I think they just got a little bit support hungry.
Yeah, the supports are amazing, but there's just too many of them. It's a problem for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I hate to say it because I love me a good support, and this team has a ton of them, right?
Yeah. I think it's a little more limited. I'm gonna put it there.
I think if this team drops a couple of those support role type Pokemon. Yeah, I think if we drop a couple of these support role type Pokemon and add a couple more heavy hitters, then we might have ourselves a really good team here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the funny thing is I've put all of these teams in front of Bohms, and I don't think Bohms has a bad team. I think he's got a pretty decent team. So the worst we're going so far is Dece. We're decent. We'll move on.
Is decent an upgrade from okay?
It seems like it's got a positive, it's a hopeful tone to it.
It's okay. Yeah. That seems positive, right?
It's okay. It's decent.
Okay.
It's not terrible.
Holy, you ready for the best team in the entire league, in my opinion?
Lay it on me.
Wait, this team doesn't have Marowak. Is Marowak a Lola? I know, because I've already started looking at this team. I have to play it. And this team has incredible diversity of threats. We have one of the fastest mons in the format with Tailwind, means we have a whole fast mode. If for some reason you're getting past Torn T, you're not going faster than priority, and like so we have a great support mon here. Like we have got a huge amount of speed with Boltund, and we have a very strong Trick Room mode here. We have Audino, I guess. Like it's not terribly exciting, but like it's a bulky Trick Room setter, and that's all you need. Mm-hmm. And we also have Mesprit as a Trick Room setter. But like Trick Room abuse, Wishy-Washy, not a lot of mons are beating a Wishy-Washy. Like yeah, once it becomes Little Fish, then it's not good. But like you might not get to that point. Like I think like Marowak can crush entire teams. Buzzwole is I think a surprisingly big threat here. It was chosen in the last round. Wow, he saved his points here. This
surprised team, that did not get picked sooner. Yeah. That's nuts.
I'm scared of Nidoking. I'm scared of Mesprit with like versatility and Calm Mind. I'm scared of Sawk. I'm scared of like basically every single mon on this team. I think they generally synergize well. I guess there's a couple of weaknesses that we can exploit here, but like we're not getting to go first against this team, and we're not getting to survive this team. This team looks overwhelming to me.
Can you make that a schooled Wishy-Washy real quick? I just want to see the stat line.
Mm-hmm.
Like 0 NFEs. Like that's pretty impressive in its own right in this format.
Yeah, I do see a lot of holes in this team defensively, though. To me, it doesn't strike me as the best team in the league. That's for sure. It has a lot of options. Like I think Boltund is pretty good value, but I don't think that's going to be winning games every week.
No.
Tornadus is strong. Marowak's really strong in Trick Room. Nidoking is an offensive threat, but it's not going to be a dominant force in the league. I don't think so.
The team's got an average offensive stat of 100, and that's before the fact that you consider Marowak's 80 attack stat is actually 200 when you consider Thick Club.
Is it 200 or 160?
No, as in you double the IVs. If you were to invest, which you always will, you'll double that too. It's effectively like a 200 attack mon when you're going full attack on it. It's stronger than Kartana. With the clip. It's not stronger than Life Orb Kartana. It's stronger than Life Orb Haxorus.
This team just it hits really hard.
Yes.
Like in any way that it wants to hit, really. I think you're sleeping on Nidoking. I think just the Gen 1 coverage with sheer force is gonna go nutty.
Yeah.
It can be special or physical too. Like we all talked about being like special being a premium. Like who does it better than Nidoking? Like pick your coverage.
Ice Beam, Earth Power, Shadow Ball,
exactly.
Bomb. It's so
Surf.
good. Yeah.
This is I think might be the season for Nidoking to actually like be good, because like Nidoking's been on some teams in the past and has never really found a place where it can really shine, but the sort of differences in power and the things that it can bring between coverage and special sheer force stuff, this could be the season of the Nidoking. Nidoking on the logo, maybe.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, why not?
But I can't find a path through this team. I've already started looking. I can't. Yeah, I'm gonna hit it in its weak points, sure, but like, am I gonna get a chance to? Is it gonna one-hit KO? Because these mons, most of them can take a hit, and the one that can't has sturdy. So
you had to bring his choice scarf, choice specs, bring your fake out.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to overpower this team, but I'm not.
Intimidate looks good into this team. Reflect looks good into this team.
Screens, yeah.
That's fair. Man, what a team! All right,
you're gonna have to get it right off lead.
I'd love to hear if there are any people who are not quite there. This is Daddy's not quite there.
I don't like it as much as Zero's team.
I already forgot what their team looked like.
Zero's had the Unburdened stuff. Then
Regigigas.
The Giga Squeeze.
Oh, I like this team more than that one. This team's better.
Yeah, that I think was a lovely team, but this team is just, oh my god.
This team is more diverse.
Yeah,
like I'm also going S tier, but I like Daddy's team better.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and say nothing about this next team. How about it?
Oh, it must be the Virginia Vikavolts?
Say it however you want.
Vikavolts.
The Vavs.
The DC Genies.
Back in the day.
That's actually a pretty funny name. I like that.
All right.
Uh,
Persian is amazing. It's
Yeah.
a phenomenal lead all the time.
Yep.
Oranguru with Marowak, we saw that in the other conference. That's a really strong pairing. I think Turtonator's pretty good value. What do you guys think? Not a lot of fires on the board
Not a
and
lot of
pretty
fires.
bulky.
Yep.
not a lot of
Tornado's
fairies
good.
to punish the dragon typing. Well, it's not even weak to it actually. So who cares?
For
Um,
the one thing I'll say is for somebody that was ragging on Trick Room in both videos here, outside of Zapdos Galar, like you're pretty heavy Trick Room. Like,
What?
I mean, you got Turtonator, Marowak. Like those are your main offensive
Look at
threats
the
outside of Zapdos.
look at
So-
the Icy Winders though. You know what I mean? Icy
I'll
Wind
let
is really good speed control in this format.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Like,
Oranguru can instruct the Fastmon. Alchemy, give it a scarf and it either decorates something or just kills you with Moonblast. I like the team. I want to talk about the free agency trade you made, dropping Croagunk Fletchinder for Tentacool Lunatone.
Your Tentacool Rotom. It's Rotom just
Or
has
Tentacool
another
Rotom.
fast,
Yeah.
unfake outable Scarf Electroweb kind of thing. Eerie Impulse, Will-O-Wisp. It was some pieces I really wanted, and I'm not sold. Like as in, really wanted like a Fletchinder to be able to outspeed Dan's team, like the team we just looked at that looks ridiculous. So I lack that explosiveness now with that occasional Tailwind option. But I think Rotom's a real Pokemon here.
Yeah,
I wanted more real Pokemon.
I was definitely fine with dropping Fletchinder because like
what does it do outside of Tailwind?
Yeah, the investment of one
Quick Guard,
entire
Will-O-Wisp.
Pokemon is a very high price to pay just for Tailwind.
Rotom can do Will-O-Wisp and it does it better, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think the team is good. It's well rounded. The only thing, like the only other knocks I have on it, as far as like, aside from your offensive threats being more Trick Room oriented, aside from Zapdos, I just think the team could have been it's a little bit passive outside of those things. Like,
I got a cure for your passivity, and it's a big
decorate. Right. Okay, yeah. So I was gonna say that. So Zapdos is obviously a really strong offensive threat. Other than that, we're trying to decorate stuff, but the team doesn't have incredible bulk, right? So if you had like really bulky mons that we're throwing decorate onto, I would feel a little more comfortable with it.
Mhm.
I think Alchemy is good just because it's a strong-ish fairy type in a format with only a couple strong fairy types.
Oh yeah, it's the second best offensive fairy in the whole format.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I think Alchemy is very good in this format, definitely. Instruct is going to be nice. Obviously, Oranguru can do crazy shit whether you're in Trick Room or out of it. I think that's a really strong pick too. But I feel like this team's lacking a little bit of the power offensively.
Like you're gonna be relying on outside of Zapdos, you're gonna be relying on Turtonator, Marowak, Miltank, Rotom. They don't really instill a lot of fear in
And
team
then
builders.
all those Pokemon a second time because Oranguru is going to instruct them.
Unless they die.
Right. I mean, and don't forget, like, you're going up against other like you got so you got Turtonator at 36. Like that's a good Trick Room speed, but Marowak at 45 isn't the greatest for Trick Room. Like as like relying on those two as your Trick Room setters. Like, and outside of that, your next jump is 60 for Oranguru. Like Oranguru can easily get outsped in Trick Room.
Well, this isn't a Trick Room team. This is a team with a strong Trick Room option. You think it's a Trick Room team, but I'm using every single mon here comfortably in fast mode and trying to go first with the exception of Turtonator. With 2 Icy Winds, I can outspeed whatever I want, even with Marowak.
It's pretty wide too, and the type chart looks nice. There's a lot of immunities on there, which is really cool to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For me, it's just like if you're gonna kind of lack that power and try to compensate with like some support or like decorate, I think it might need a little bit more bulk. But I feel like it's just not gonna hit quite hard enough when you have some of these other teams that are hitting really hard, like the last one we just looked at.
Definitely. I gave up some of the raw numbers in exchange for what I think is trickery, but we'll see if it works out, honestly.
I've got the comp. So like, when I'm gonna use Pokemon Unite here, or maybe it's not even the right comp, but like you got these teams that are like, very fast hitters or very defensive bulky, and then you got like the technical stuff where like they really want to pin you into a corner. This team is very technical. in my opinion.
Well, I hope that that's praise, because to me it sounds like praise.
I think it's praise. I meant it as
It's
praise.
fine. It's fine.
It's decent. It's
Hopefully
decent.
we
yeah,
meet in
it's
playoff
okay.
the Ballhawk.
I think we might be sleeping on the very good cat Persian Alola a little bit.
Agreed.
No,
yeah.
I think that's gonna be
it's
phenomenal.
amazing. I think we all think it's amazing.
I will
Yeah.
lead it every game of the
I
entire
think-
season, and I won't be
Yeah,
I
back for
think-
it.
I should.
Here we go. Gyapdos is going to be your kill leader. It's not going to be close. And Alolan Persian is going to be your MVP, and it's not going to be close.
Okay. I think it might be
I
out for me,
agree.
but we'll see. We'll see.
Let's put it on a list. I
I
think I want to put it.
want to put it just above Jace's, to be honest.
Fine.
Just above
Underrate
Jace
my
or like
team.
right
Do what you
there.
want.
On.
I have
wanna-
it. I have it
Well,
just
I've
below
got Jace's a
Bone.
little lower, so I'm putting it also bottom of A, top of B area, but
Yeah.
about the same spot. I think I like it more than the Victinis, but I've got Victinis at the top of B myself. So
I'm grading these teams much harsher than everybody else is. I have it just below Bohm's team, but I have a couple teams below that.
We'll stop believing so hard. We need, like, this team is decent, but we need some teams here, even that we think are pretty good. So now we have a decent distribution here. Onwards to
my turn yet?
it should nope.
Nope,
It's Tay's
Tay
team,
first.
and then yours.
Tay's first. Okay. All right, Tay. This is my week one. As you
Yeah.
can see by the fact that when this doc got posted into the Discord, Tay already put my team into the opponent slot for this. But I opened up this doc.
Numbers, am I right?
It's already been. Somebody's been sleeping in my bed here.
Numbers?
Yeah. Yep. There's a lot of big numbers, that's for sure. It's a scary team, guys. Tell me its weaknesses. The fairy type I don't have. No, not even.
Fake out. You fake out the Archeops. What's your answer to a speedy team or a Tailwind team?
You might be able to jump over the top of this team. It's not super fast.
No.
Yeah, and like I'm not like it's just the Araquanid. So if you bring like Araquanid specific answers, which it warrants, the 70 is actually a 200 when you more than double it. Yeah, so you bring Araquanid specific answers and then you try to outspeed it, I think.
It's a very bulky team otherwise. Like I could very easily see it going like, sure you can hit me first, but I'll live it and then just kill you, kind of playstyle.
It could be. Yeah, I saw Xurkitree is not actually that frail. It can usually take one hit. Kangaskhan is quite bulky. Do we have ways to like boost up Kangaskhan? I don't think it boosts itself, but do we have coaching? Is coaching on your dock?
It is.
No.
It should be.
I think there's.
That's
not
move that's not on your
coaching.
dock.
I don't
Dang it.
think Pangoro coaches.
Oh yeah, you're
I
right.
think it does.
I think you're right.
I think it does.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. Okay.
So
Pangoro can get kind of fast with a scarf. Gets to
180.
180.
It's fast. It's passing Espeon, but not quite like Inteleon or Persian.
I mean, this is one of those kind of wonky teams that I was saying I really like to see from like Ben and Tay. I like their like kind of those draft styles where you look at it and you're kind of like, what the hell is this? You know what I mean? At first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just more afraid of Tay's biggest pieces than the with Duraludon and the
Agreed.
The Crawdon.
I agree with
like,
you.
there's
Yeah.
really nothing. Like, he's outnumbered the whole format on these two offensive stats right here, and the Araquanid after its water bubble ability, and Archeops. Like,
Scary stuff here for sure.
Yeah, and specifically Kangaskhan using Last Resort and Double Edge.
Yeah, it's like, what do you
Kangaskhan is gonna
prep
be-
for, right?
Yeah.
Pretty
definitely
hard
need to be
beat.
Definitely need to be able to shut down the Zerk and the Haxorus, but yeah.
All right, it's a good team.
It's a
like,
good-
I
yeah.
don't think we need to overcomplicate this team. It's a very good, heavy-hitting team that can actually live hits. I think it's S tier, and I'm not sure if I'm putting it 2 or 3.
I think I would put it 2 personally.
Versus the magnificent fantasy core of Sylveon, Magnezone, Dragonite,
I think so.
and Tauros and Dusknoir. No, yeah, I'm putting it 3. You can put it in 2.
Yeah, I'm actually putting it first. I like it better than both Daddy and Dan's the coach of the Arcanines,
Yes.
right? Yeah,
Mhm.
and Dan's teams.
All right. Well, this is where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm putting
we'll,
it in
we'll
an
all
S
post
search,
at the
yeah.
end. It'll be great.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Am I supposed to be building power rankings while we do this?
Cincy Minchies.
Yes.
Yeah,
You can if you want
have
to.
It's fine.
You don't
Okay,
have to.
You can post later if you want, or not post at all.
Oh, you definitely have
You
to.
gave us your thoughts, and you gave us
Hey,
this wonderful
yeah,
doc,
people-
so you've given us
Yes, I've made my contribution.
People need to be watching every second of this anyway and paying
Exactly.
attention. So
They know what I think.
They're
Yeah.
taking notes.
they've been paying attention. They've been building your power rankings for you
Yes.
as they go.
I've started to look at this team. It's my week 2, so I'm going to start us off. This is a very good team that like it's like a sleeper. I started thinking it was like a pretty good team, and like the more I think about it, the more I think it's a great team. So Sableye, yeah, James, you had a lovely video. I'm gonna post anyone who made content that we're just like on teams that we're discussing here. I'll post in the detailed description of this. But James made a summary of his team, and he said Sableye is the perfect first pick. I kind of agree. It was my either first or second pick in BDSP, and I just couldn't not bring it because it's always good in every circumstance except Psychic Terrain, which isn't in this format. So Sableye, really, really excellent, and he doesn't need the Sableye because Noivern is setting Tailwind a lot of the time, and Molga. We've got speed, and we have a threatening Trick Room mode, and we just have it's a very wide team where I have to respect basically everything on it. Like even the Boldor, the Boldor actually can't die. It's incredibly bulky with EVLA, and it's got Wide Guard, and it's got like other stuff. Uxie, you really got to respect as a quality Trick Room setter and like Calm Minder. We have a sand mode here in a format with a lot of weathers, so I don't know if you're necessarily bringing your Sunny Day just to disrupt this, because it's not like the full focus of the team. I think that's how you do weather, right? Is you do just enough that it might slide under the radar and then is really effective. So this team has a lot going for it. James talked about the Boom Burst with like lots of immunities, scaling threats. Like it's a ton of different threats, and I don't know if any of them amaze me by themselves besides Sableye, but I think it's got a lot going for it overall. I will now open the floor.
I think we definitely have a lot of different modes we can go in here. I think James can bring a couple different weathers, depending on the matchup, which is really nice. Sableye, obviously, probably the best support. Ice is going to be a little bit of a problem for this team, right? It's very bulky. I don't see like too many enormous offensive threats, right? He has plenty of mons that can do damage, but what's going to be one-shotting me,
So I agree in that when I first drafted it, I thought it was a top end of middle, kind of pretty decent, not my best draft. But the more I've been looking at it, there's a lot to like here, right? I do think this team is going to win or lose in my prep a lot. Like if I can accurately get the identify what my opponents are going to be afraid of and then handle their solutions to what they're afraid of, I think I'm going to have a pretty good time. I do love the defensive bulk on this team.
Yeah.
It's something I pointed out in my video. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mons well above 100 in terms of defensive stats. One of them has an Eviolite, and Coma O can Iron Defense, or it doesn't even need to. It's already base 125 stab body press. A lot of these Pokemon are also doing more than one thing, right?
Definitely.
Noivern is a scary offensive threat, but you also have to worry about it setting Tailwind. Stoutland can be fast in the sand, but it can also be a Snarl Intimidator. Tentacruel can be Specs Water Move, or it can be Scarf Icy Wind. I got a lot of stuff that can do a lot of different things, being admirably led by the perfect first pick, Sableye, which can do everything. I like this. I like my team very much. I'm very happy with how the draft turned out.
I think Daddy nailed it though, and you've confirmed, James, that this is a team that wins eventually, not fast. And
yes,
it's not taking the one-hit KOs. So it has an abundance of boosting options. It's got the Shell Smashes and the body Iron Defense body presses. But can you overwhelm this team? maybe not on the speed end, but can you outpace this team and like prevent it from setting up its win con? I think sometimes. So
Yeah, that's it.
I don't
That's
know.
how I feel.
yeah.
I don't know that you can, honestly. Like, I mean, I guess obviously you can, but I would say,
Consistently.
I think this team definitely has a lot of outs to it. Like,
Mhm.
you could throw a sneaky band on a Hippowdon and go Sand Force, or maybe not Sand Force, but I mean like Sandstream, and then bring Quash and Sableye and just like eviscerate your opponent when they're not expecting. Oh, this Hippowdon is really strong right now. Como is just it's a what's the word I'm looking for? It's jack of all trades. Like
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
it can set up
Como
however you
Incredible
want it
never
move.
to.
looked better.
Unbelievable.
It just
move.
it just needs one turn to set up. Like a Dragon Dance Como can just eviscerate you, fake out into Clanger's Soul with Throat Spray. Good night. Like Uxie is bulky enough to set up and then just be a problem for you. Yeah, this team definitely has tons of setup, and Sableye is going to be a rock star here.
Yeah. You can run Air Balloon Sableye with Choice Band Hippowdon, and like they know what it is. Like they know what's gonna happen, but like Sableye gets to fake out and Quash anyway. Like, right? How are you stopping Sableye?
Exactly.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Sableye is one of the best mons in this format, honestly.
Yep.
Could have
is.
probably
what
priced
I'm
it higher.
saying.
Sableye has always been good in any format it's in,
Mhm.
but it just
All right.
it's really tough to beat it.
Here's our
I'm
head-to-head.
putting myself at the top of A tier, above.
AC has the extreme power. Maybe not, but like he's got a decent amount of versatility, while James has got top tier versatility and like decent power. Like needs a turn or two and then has great power. This is maybe where we are? That's
What were the mons on the London races again?
Talonflame, Nagana Dell.
Okay.
There was.
I have it ahead of AC, but my PRs look a lot different than yours. So
Whoops.
I think I would put this team.
I'm happy with it.
It's kind of on par with AC's. I think those two are interchangeable for me.
Cool. On to our last three.
Oh.
Tab City. Singapore Sliggoos. This is Mahiru.
Oh my
and
God,
their
this
first
draft.
Yeah, this is a more perplexing one, but like, so I would Glalie was on my draft plan. Like, it was not coming round two, and I think
round 10.
I think you get the wrong tab.
but it is definitely great value. So this is a player that knows some of their options. Like, this is not someone who doesn't know VGC. Like, I do believe that they're a new drafter, and therefore like they may be like overvalued. Like they dug down deeper than they needed to, and then some like not realizing that the top stuff always seems to be the highest demand.
Got it on the wrong tab.
What'd I do?
Yeah, you're on the zoomed in one.
Oh no!
Yeah, we just can't see. There we go.
I was wondering
There we go.
what is this guy trolling? He's whispering in my ear. Okay. Okay.
Sweet nothings.
We're here. So yeah, I think this is a player that knows their VGC, doesn't know draft, but therefore is gonna bring some stuff we don't expect.
Yeah, I think. I mean, so I've said plenty of mean things about Wigglytuff already.
Yeah.
I don't need to say more mean things
Keep
about
going.
Wigglytuff. But get ready for them. No, I'm just kidding. Other than the obviously bad Wigglytuff, which I don't like, basically every one of these Pokemon is a defensible choice, right? They're not necessarily a super coherent, excellent draft squad, but they're all excellent draft picks. If that makes sense.
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's an
It does.
exceedingly wide team. It's so wide that it's almost stretched thin. Like, where's our meat? Like, I guess we're killing with Dracozolt and Crocodile.
Where's the beef?
And Nidoqueen, right? Is
Yeah,
Nidoqueen's
Nidoqueen's
bulky.
probably two-shotting the entire format, which is good.
You got Gallade, who's pretty beefy on the special side, which
And gets
I
every
guess
move.
in this format, like we said, it's pretty physically oriented. So I guess that's not as valuable, or doesn't mean as much as it would typically. But
Yeah, this was like a little bit like kind of similar to my problem with like Jordan and James's teams to a greater extent,
Passive.
but this team that it's passive. It like there's not a lot of stuff that really like scares me offensively. You know what I
No.
mean?
outside of like Crocodile, Starmie to an extent, Clang Clang can shift up, and then the Gallade and Nidoqueen.
Oh, I really wish
I'm
we had
not
a
as-
nasty plotter though, because some of these mons they're already going first, so as long as they can survive one turn, then they're taking all the Okos with nasty plot. That would have been really nice if Starmie had it. If they're like Calm Minders, oh no, yeah, we need
Yeah.
I think we need a boost or two to sweep, unless we're Dracozolt. Dracozolt is definitely
Watch
gonna,
out!
yeah.
Watch out! Calm Mind Gallade is going to steal your hearts. This
We
season.
have no fake out. We have no redirection. That's
Yeah.
going to be a problem. And we have inner focus on Glalie only, and like, that's
I think
not
this
going to cut it.
team's- This team's
So
gonna be
this
hurting, I
team
think.
has 3 points left over still. This is a
Oh.
92-point team,
Yeah, you can make
It
a,
looks
and
like it.
and
you can make
there
a big
are
change.
some possibilities for upgrades here, I would imagine.
Definitely.
Yeah.
This team can get a lot
Agreed.
better, and it doesn't need a lot of work. Most draft teams are only a few moves away from greatness, and I think this is one of them. Like, Dracozolt is great. Give it any fake out. 2-point fake out, right? We've got Tailwind plus Dracozolt. We've got the setup option here. Do we have, like, Ally Switch? Do we have...
Gallade has
Wigglytuff.
Ally Switch.
Wigglytuff, Cling Clang also.
we have
right?
I think
Ally
we're
Switch.
Ally Switchers.
Okay.
Really
Um,
tough ally switches.
Yeah, so if you play
Moxie
Galvantula,
Crocodile.
so Galvantula and Fletchinder are kind of like redundant, like because they both pretty much ensure everybody goes first. But so like maybe you drop the Fletchinder, I don't know, or you drop the
Intimidate looks really good into this team, and like, yeah, Wigglytuff has competitive, but like, James, what do you have to say about Wigglytuff again?
So Wigglytuff is a bad Pokemon.
There we
People
go.
should draft it.
Hey,
And
There we go.
don't sleep on that
it's-
Gen 1 coverage. Like
it's
Wigglytuff
true.
and Nidoqueen.
okay, so go back to my BDSP pre-season review where I said all these nice things about Wigglytuff.
Yep.
and then it disappointed.
And then go to my
Yep.
BDSP draft season review where I started saying all these mean things about Wigglytuff.
I drafted Wigglytuff last season. I brought it once, and the times that I did like run calcs, and when I brought it to games, it's just like you can't tickle things to death. You know what I mean? So like, the
yeah,
coverage is great, but it's still not doing much.
Yeah, it doesn't stand up to calcs very well. The defense
That's
doesn't.
fair.
It's not actually very good. But so like we have Trick Room setters. We can maybe deter a little bit. But yeah, this team I think misvalues some things. Is a little over invested in speed without like the beneficiaries of speed, some real killers besides Dracozolt and sometimes Krook. So I think this team is fixable, but right now it's not better than any of the teams I've seen.
Yeah, I think this one's last for me.
Yep, I
Agreed.
agree.
Welcome to the league. You've been fun to be around so far. Let's go. Let's finish with Casey or Electric.
We got two.
Let's do
more.
Casey last. Let's
Okay,
save
okay.
Casey for last.
Last pick, last discuss.
I
right.
can't do anything right.
That was just like such a like. Welcome to the league. You've been fun to be around so far.
Well, I didn't mean to say so far, as in like I expect you to all of a sudden do a villain turn here. Anyway,
Are we in the wrong tab again?
We are in the wrong tab again.
Can't do anything right.
Welcome to the league, Jordan.
Yeah.
You've
So
been fun to be
far.
around so far.
I'm not good live, guys. This is my problem.
Look
Is
at this
that
attack stat. Look at this base attack stat on this
Oh,
team.
yeah, this
What
team's
the-
strong.
This is just going to the moon. Sir Fetched, Lycanroc, Dusk, Gladi. I love this team. This is the top for me.
Yeah, I thought my team was great when I drafted it, and I downgraded to good after I looked at this team. I'm like, oh, I don't
Yeah.
have Latias and Thundurus. Those are real Pokemon. Like, I don't have Sharpedo. Like, I don't have Lycanroc is gonna wreck everything in this format. There's just not a lot of mons that can handle a rock move. Like, it's got a lot of power, and not just the numbers. Like, we've got Defiant. I mean,
Passive support
yeah.
on this team
It's-
is nutty.
This was the only snipe of my draft.
Who is that? What
Was
do you want?
was Aggron. I wanted Aggron
Oh yeah,
around-
huge steal. 4 points.
around round 5 or 6, and of course, I guess I was probably thinking more round 6 or 7, and clearly, Electric said no. Aggron is a round 5 Pokemon. You snooze, you lose.
So I think
think he's
Aggron's
right.
gonna need to be a sturdy mon like half the time. Like
Yeah.
its typing is that bad, but honestly, it's fine, right? Rockhead or I guess you can't Rockhead Stone head smash, but like just if you can just land one move and then while getting speed control, so you can get a second move, Aggron's doing its part. It's a strong mon.
I wonder how much like an Iron Ball heavy slam, heavy metal heavy slam is doing in Trick Room to a lot of stuff from Aggron.
Sure.
It's a pretty heavy mon,
Oh
right?
yeah, the Trick Room's the weakness here. We're
Yeah,
like,
how much-
Pumpkaboo is
how much-
actually serviceable with EBLite, but like it's not gonna build you a Trick Room mode.
I mean, like with
Give us
Iron Ball,
something.
you're gonna
I
be
mean,
like
yeah.
25
How-
speed.
How much is he running Trick Room with the rest of the squad, though?
Yeah.
Well,
right?
right.
Also,
Can't
not
really
only
be
is
something that-
Pumpkaboo
Game plan with
betting
these
it,
guys.
but then what else is taking advantage of Trick Room, right?
Well,
I
right,
mean,
it's something that
Surf
would
Edge,
like
kinda?
catch you off guard.
True.
Electric
Yeah,
has influenced me
Perfect,
as a player
maybe.
more than almost
But-
anyone by saying like the most like I thought consistency meant snarls and calm minds. He's like consistency is not letting your opponent move. And this team is really good at going first, and it's really good at summoning the power to a one-hit KO.
Yeah,
This
on
team
the
is really strong.
special attacking side, and I think he talked about this in his video. I mean, he's got Thundurus has a really high special attack stat. Latias is a crazy Pokemon, obviously. Not a whole lot of other special threats though. Rabambi, right? I mean, Moonblast is okay.
Quiver Dance.
Sleeping on Flygon.
Magmar's pretty real. Hopefully it has a boosting move, but even then, it's probably just a chunker.
Wait, why am I sleeping on Flygon?
It's got some special coverage, right?
Does
It's
it?
80 special attack though.
I mean,
And
yeah, but the
Air
lack
Slash,
of fairy types
Moonburst,
in this
Bug
league,
Buzz,
like
Draco
your
Meteor,
Draco,
Earth Power,
a Specs
Fire
Draco
Blast.
Meteor is gonna dent, if not
Giga
outgo, a
Drain.
lot of stuff.
yeah, okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, Flygon's got a pretty decent special move pool actually.
Yeah, like
I
that.
don't hate
It's
that at
it's one of
all.
those weird mods that like Game Freak, like I swear they come up with these things every once in a while just to torture us. Like they have a mon that has like a very like glaring, like Tabacoco and Flygon are like similar in my opinion. Like they have the offensive like stat is better, but they have a better special coverage.
Yeah.
Or like you definitely want to run special more often than you want to run physical, but the physical moves are just stronger. Or,
Yeah.
like, you
Give
just don't
give
get 'em.
Flygon a special Dragon Dance, then we'll talk.
Yeah. Once they come out with Dragon Dance special, that'll be nice. Gen 9, it's coming.
Dragon Prance.
Yes.
I was trying to come up with a Dragon Dance
Dragon
pun
Prance
for
is
special.
amazing.
Dragon
Dragon
Prance.
Prance is it.
Dragon
Definitely.
Prince is S tier for sure.
Dragon-
Okay,
the
we
Dragon
got power,
Jaunt.
we got speed. Do we have enough variety, or are we kind of hitting the whole team with ice moves and some ghost moves and rock moves? No, I think we have enough variety in defensive synergy and enough
Yeah.
variety in
Oh,
how
I
we're
think so.
attacking. I think, yeah, okay. Up to
Like
S
this
tier we
isn't
go.
this isn't like those other teams where like they had like 5 like glaring weaknesses and like 3 types. Like now this team is like at most it's got a strong switch in where it's like generally
Yeah,
neutral
I
into
think
those
the
types.
defensive coverage is really nice. I think this is an
Mhm.
S tier team too.
I think this
Up
is the
to
top.
S tier we go.
I would put it in first
I'm gonna put it
personally.
in second.
Yeah, I think I like Tay's team more as well, but this is definitely the most top-heavy tier list I've ever made in my life for any reason.
Mine is not.
Well, I'm a nice
You'll see
guy.
it
What
soon.
can I say?
No. Well, mine doesn't.
I
Look
am
the same
not
as
a
yours.
nice guy.
Mine doesn't look the same as yours, but I have fully 8 teams in S and A.
Yeah, I have
And
7 in S and A to be fair.
that
I
is-
also have 6 in C and D. So
I don't know if I said it, but the Daddy Conference kind of had some better drafts. I'm just saying overall. Just saying. Same mons. We did better with them.
I think you're biased.
I'm definitely biased.
you
How
are
about that?
because they have some good drafts too. Yeah.
Yeah, there were definitely good teams in the other conference. I'll put that in the description too when the folks, including me, discuss
Nah,
the
leave
Daddy
that out.
Conference.
I can't wait for us baby conference.
I can't find
rise up,
anything. I'm gonna plan.
dominate
I'm
the
gonna
world.
do this so much better when I never do
Casey.
this again.
Nope, that's the wrong one.
Wrong tab.
All right.
We can cut all this out. Don't worry. Get your assistant to cut it out.
I'm so much better with takes.
Just secretary.
Let's finish with the Californian Coalossals, coached by KC. Welcome back, KC.
Absolutely.
We love Casey.
Cool
Casey's
team.
great.
I don't really get it, so let's have someone else start.
Yeah,
I
this
love
is-
Guzzlord.
I also like. I like the Mimikyu, Guzzlord, Durant. That trio got drafted by the same. That trio is together in both leagues, which is pretty sweet. This has a lot. This is another team with a lot of Pokemon that I was giving some attention to, right? Quagsire, Toxicroak, Durant, Jinx were all Pokemon that I at least were like, ooh, let's look at this one, see how it goes. Premium Fake Out, Toxicroak and Jinx is nice.
I think Mimikyu is actually a top 3 fairy in the format, so suck on that, poppin'.
I would agree with that.
Raikou is a really good pick in round 7. Like that's kind of wild. I think Raikou is going to go crazy this season in both conferences. Cradily is what's it doing for this team?
So I wanted to talk about Cradily also.
Surf spam.
In both leagues, the Cradily drafter is not taking advantage of Storm Drain defensively.
Right.
However, Cradily can be used offensive Storm Drain by this team better, between Quagsire and Mantine both being
Fast surf into a meteor or a power or meteor beam.
Yeah, something silly like that. Sounds pretty sweet. Does anything?
Surf?
Doesn't Toxicroak get surf? Or you could even do like Raikou Scald. I guess it's not as great, but Mantine gets surf, I would assume. I know Quagsire gets surf.
Tox doesn't, but yeah, Mantine does.
I think that the 5 water immunities is completely overboard here. We don't have a great surfer either. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous in my opinion.
I doubt that part was planned.
Yeah. So for me, it was Mimikyu, Guzzlord sounds great, and then we slowly fall apart. There's definitely things I'm missing.
How dare you highlight Jinx and say it fell apart?
Right.
A lot of the water immunities are not actually water immunities a lot of the time, right? Quagsire wants to be unaware a lot. Mantine might want to run Swift Swim under some circumstances.
Yeah, you don't have to do all that. You certainly don't need to in any way. So,
Toxicroak, maybe you want Poison Touch 1 week for a little extra something. Jinx, you might want Oblivious because you want to set Trick Room that week. There's that. It looks a little silly on the chart, but
get water weaknesses. They're free.
Yeah.
Get a ground type. You're not weak to grass. You're not weak to water. You're not weak to ice. Like you did all this work to make yourself like really good against certain types, but then like you're not protecting anything. I'm not bringing Marowak into this team. It's fine.
I mean, what is Jace gonna do into this team? I mean, Jace just kind of auto loses to it, right?
This is just this team is built to counter Jace, and that's it.
The anti-Jace draft, but like still.
Unfortunately, they're in different divisions.
I think there's a little more to it than that too, right? Like, It's another team that it just doesn't hit quite hard enough for me. You know what I mean?
I disagree in that.
Do you?
Go ahead.
Okay.
So Guzzlord with Beast Boost.
Okay, so
can win.
Okay, did any of you guys play in the last season of SCDA?
Nope.
Or were you aware? Okay, so I drafted Guzzlord in that league, and I got clowned on. Immediately the next week, I said, okay, all right, fine, I'll use Guzzlord. Just completely went off, got 6 kills with Guzzlord against my opponent, and kind of shut everybody up. Like Guzzlord is a good Pokemon.
You as league MVP made the logo in our season.
Guzzlord's
we do know.
Like
Guzz. Okay, so Mimikyu, Guzzlord, Jinx. Those are great. Mimikyu is one of those things that can go like support, or it can just set up and sweep and just win because it gets a free turn of setup thanks to Disguise. Yeah. Jinx, fast, like it's got the move that puts you to sleep. Is it Lovely Sweet Kiss or Lovely Kiss? Fast, Lovely Kiss. Like, what are you doing into that? Like, I saw Electric. We talked about how good he is in drafting.
Or 40% of the time, you're just laughing because it wasted its turn. But I take your point.
Right, but I mean, like it's got a lot of other really good support moves too, and like pretty good special stats.
Lovely Kiss is 75% accuracy.
Yeah. Okay.
Lovely
so it's
Sleep Powder.
Is Sleep Powder 75 or is it? Okay.
I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. But I mean, and then like it's Oblivious too, so like it's get like Taunt, Fake Out, Helping Hand, Encore. Like it's a fast Encore. It sets Trick Room. Like it, Durant. You don't get the Dynamax, but like Hustle, or Truant, you can be. No, you can't be Truant. Can you do fun stuff with Truant here?
Truant on other stuff with entrainment.
Does it get entrainment?
Yeah, it does.
You probably are running Swarm most of the time. Mantine.
It's a good steal. It's a budget steal, right? I think it's good.
7 points.
Yeah. Mantine is a budget tailwind setter, underrated, very especially fat.
I'm considering
Cradily.
your arguments here. Like, I love all of these Pokemon, especially the ones you're calling out. There are 5 great Pokemon and like 5 good Pokemon on this team. I like almost every mon on this team. The synergy isn't there, and I basically decided that the synergy isn't there, and we need to like get rid of some of the redundancy on this team and use the strengths of some of these great Pokemon better. That's my.
Well, I don't know.
verdict.
Like you said, like half the time you're not even running that water immunity ability on some of these things. Like Jinx, you're gonna be oblivious, or Dry Skin, almost reliable, like almost every time.
But who's taking
Right.
1-hit KOs with Jinx's disruptive potential?
That's where I'm at too with this team.
It's just Durant, and Durant's gonna miss.
What about Guzzlord? What about Guzzlord?
Well,
I mean, what about Raikou? What
Guzzlord
about
under
Kadabra
Trick
even?
Room. So your Trick Room's the most cohesive part of this team. That it's got a very solid Trick Room mode. One of the
I
better
disagree.
ones.
You got Raikou, you got Durant,
Yeah.
you got Kadabra. Like
No, his
Kadabra's got a
speed-
120 special attack stat at 105 speed. Like that's
That
not
is fair.
something to
That's
ignore.
fair.
I actually really like his speed
Life
spreads.
Orb
I think he
Magic
can go
Guard.
fast or slow, but Guzzlord does not like Dazzling Gleam, and there's a lot of Dazzling Gleams floating around in this league too.
We do have Wide
That's-
Guard.
that's a
Good.
fair point.
That's a good start for dealing with the
Yeah.
Gleam.
Yep.
Yeah, I love the Mons. I can't put it better than like lower middle, but maybe you guys believe in it more than I do.
That's how I feel about it too, though. Lower middle.
I think this team is easily comparable to like the one you ignore, but there's like they slowly sneak up on you, and you're like, oh gosh, you're really good.
Oh yeah, middle
think-
of this league means great, right? Or means
I was
at least
gonna
very good.
sp-
Yeah,
I was gonna say
Yeah.
like
yeah.
probably maybe like top to mid, good. For me.
Yeah, I've got it middle of B as well.
For me, like even the C and D tier teams, it doesn't mean like I think that your team sucks. I just think that I personally like some of the other teams better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean
know what I mean?
the D tier teams would have won season 1, but
Easily, right?
it's 2 years later, and
Right.
we've all been drafting against each other every 4 months for the last 2 years, and in multiple leagues, and we're all a bunch of killers now, and so it's a different world. The ecosystem is harsher than it used to be.
Yes.
Yeah. It's gonna be quite the season. Thank you all for being
Can't
here
wait.
and chatting as I fiddled with my screens. I think we have great teams in this draft. No qualifiers, 0 yikes teams. I'm not even stretching here. Hell yeah, VBL-S Season 7, let's do this.
Can't wait.